What's up, guys? So today on this SHOKY combining thing review, we're going to try to combine the thing. So we have all 6 Moon Studios bots here in their combined form. If you didn't watch the ridiculously long combine mode video to get to this point, I kind of understand. I mean, it was hell doing that just to begin with. The only thing I'm somewhat unsure of is, I guess I do have to split these. From what I could tell, unless I missed something, there's no instructions on how to truly combine the last few things. Like I was looking at the arm bots, and it didn't show me how to do it. Now, I looked at Cool Peak's instructions. I didn't look at Green Zone's. No. Yep. Doesn't really show you how to connect it to the actual combiner form. That's interesting. I guess I'd have to check Moonshine's box. I don't think there's a second set of instructions just for doing like the final combination. Not from what I saw anyways. Huh. Okay. So we're going to do the best we can. I mean, most of it's not hard. I do think that with the arm bots, we're going to have to split this part a little bit to get it in place. And I think we're going to do the arms last because it just makes sense. Hold on, got to pull that up like that. I'm trying to keep all this together, and if you've been watching the series, you know that this is by far the most fiddly and the most ridiculous one as it goes. So what I think I'm going to try to do is combine this bad boy with this one. Now, his instructions do show you how to connect it up to this guy. And I think I have it facing the right direction, given that it shows that you need to shove it backwards, and considering the slots here are facing this way, that totally makes sense. As for the other things that need to line it up, I'm not so sure. Okay, and I think I have to unplug this back section here, which is the side that is already wonky, because it doesn't stay where it's supposed to go, like that. That is meant to do that. Oh my god, could that have gone farther away? So luckily those are just on little BS hinges, so that's not a big deal. It's annoying, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, see, that just works out like that. And I think this is what it is, because I believe you have to hook into these couple spots as well. So let's raise this up and let's see what's going on here. So I have not attempted to do this. The only thing I have done is connect the pants to the legs before, but I've never attempted the torso to the main body. So you have these big metal hooks that come down like so, and then you have these that need to come down a little bit like that. I think those are the ones that are going to help us when it comes to there. As for everything else, I have no idea, because it still shows this needs to be open for reasons, and I don't think anything else connects from what I could see. Okay, so see, I don't think this is meant to be open. I think this is, but I don't think that is. Once again, the fiddliness of this bot is going to cause problems. Okay, now that's there. So let's leave it be. Okay. So let's try this again. So we got these guys out, and then these are out a little bit. All right, let's figure this out. Okay, so get these in here. Get that in there. Come on. Hook that one. That one. Oop, oop, oop. Progress. And we need need to slide it backwards to lock it in place. But like, how am I supposed to do that? Yep, that was exactly what you thought it was. I can see what has to happen. It's just not gonna go. Like, you guys can't see this at all, and I apologize. So, I got that where it needs to go. The other parts are kind of where they need to go. But there ain't no way that's gonna sit down. That chest is just in the way. Like, it is 100% hitting right here. And maybe I need to tilt this back a little. I don't know. Let's see. Drop that in the middle. God damn it, really? Oh, there we go. Okay. It's in place. It is in place. Now let's lock this stupid damn thing again. Seriously, like, this is the biggest blunder of the whole thing right here. This. That is how that's supposed to go. Okay. So let's leave that. Now we come back here. And we have metal teethies that are meant to come down and lock in right there. Well, it's supposed to. I guess if it's back far enough, it will. Which, that spot should be back far enough. Shit nuggets. You guys should know by now. Like, this has just been an insane thing. Okay, got that one. Had to really force it up in there. I got it. Okay. And now these close. Well, not like that. Of course, these are the wonky ones that don't want to close right in the first place. And I can't tell you why, but I can see that there's a pinch point right there. So, it's almost as though this section doesn't allow this to have clearance to come back here. Oh my god, what the hell? Now it doesn't want to go at all. There we go. Alright. So that's solid. Push that back there. Good god. Seriously, guys. It's annoying as balls. Alright, and then once again, the fucking nose cone fell off, like it does, every fucking time. And because it is helpful sometimes, I'm not keen on changing that. Alright, so now that we have the torso connected, we'll set that aside. We need to prep the legs just a little bit here. So we need to pull this back a bit. I think that's far enough, so you need that gap there to get the piece in. And then we need to do the same thing over here. Basically like that. So what we're going to do is front middle part is going to slide in to there, and the T-tabs, oh, I forgot how tall this gets. The T-tabs will line up back here, and you secure that to the best of your ability. And then you remember you have a big damn light hanging right here. There we go. Okay. So we're up a lot higher. We have a big old tall boy we have to work around here. Yeah, it's a little unstable at the moment because, well, he doesn't have arms. So let's see about that. Once again, never done this, so this is interesting. Okay, need to pull this out, I guess. Actually, this needs to rotate. Well, I guess I can't rotate. Okay, so that means I have to split this, put it on one way, and then rotate it. So there are gaps on the sides here that correspond to the tabs on the shoulder there. So I think what we're gonna have to do is sandwich it like so. I can't see what the hell I'm doing. Two. Okay. Make sure everybody's squozen. Come around the front side so I can see the rest of the arm joint here. Alright, so here comes the scary part. Rotating the arm for the first time. Alright. And that outward joint I know is tight. Whoa, his legs went out. Okay. So, get the legs sort of settled. He's going to lean one way for right now, because obviously he's off weight. That was not easy, by the way. And I'm not convinced that this was the best way to do this. But, you know, they wanted to do an all-in-one combiner instead of parts forming. And, well, this is what you get. To connect an arm joint. Okay. That was slightly easier. And rotate. Not too bad. Let's see if we can get one click out here. I've not attempted to move this arm yet, so... Okay. Boy, that is tough. Oh. And, well, combined, he is not complete. Okay. So let's just straighten out his legs. Okay, slightly on balance. Get his arm down. Get his arm straight down. Alright, so now we need to put on all the parts and pieces. And we have the chest piece, which all you have to do, as far as I can tell, flip these tabs out and do your damnedest to plug them in where they go. So there's 2 slots right there, and the wheels have to go inside there, hopefully. Okay, so I don't know. I've only done this once. Might be just that easy. Shit. Of course. Can't. Okay, I think that's it. So, there's that part. But that's not all. Oh, he's leaning back a little bit. We have train feet guns. And yes, I realize I should have done the wings first, but you know what? I don't feel like doing things in order. You got a slot, or sorry, you got a tab and a slot that line up like so. And yes, these are actually part of him. It's kind of funny. It's like, this is part of the design, as weird as it seems. Okay. Yeah, he's still not quite. He's still very unsure of himself. Okay, and now we come back up to the top to flip him around very carefully. Thank God this is glass and I can do it so easily. And we take our wings, and we have a post right there, and we have a hole right here, like that, and then like that. There we go. And we'll flip him around one more time. Give him a little more support this time as I rotate. Good Lord. He's definitely leaning backwards, but it is what it is. Let me go full zoom out here, I think, if I can. It's not gonna let me, is it? Nope, it's not gonna let me do a wide angle. So I have to come back and out to the farthest I can, but still be attached to the damn microphone. Hold on. So you can never see all of Raiden. If I push him back just a little bit, I can really get him all on screen. Oof, definitely got to make use of the feet and ankles to get him stable. That is a big old boy. And I think, at least so far, at least looks-wise, the only problem I have is just the weird gap on the shoulders. And I think technically, when we go through articulation and stuff, I think we could suck that up a little bit, making use of his butterfly joints. So, but I gotta stop for now. Pick this up tomorrow, my time, because it's already really late, and this guy has really drained me today. Alright guys, so here you can see I got him in a little bit of a disco pose. And let's see, let's do a bit more of the articulation and stuff. So the head, let me come up and zoom in a little. So the head, silver painted face. The rest of it, except for the yellow, doesn't appear to be painted at all. Nope, I think that's a piece of plastic. Basically just a ball joint with a good amount of range, but it works. The highly metallic red eyes, like blue eyes. I mean, actually they're chrome. They're not even metallic. They're just straight up chrome eyes. They stand out, but this is like one of the first ones from a Zeta company that has no electronics, has no light up, and given that the whole back of the head is a springy thing, I thought maybe that was a switch to activate, but unfortunately, not so much. Now the shoulders, we've already sort of seen in action. Same clicky type of shoulder bits. Actually, very, very, very similar to the ones they've done in the past. You can see you get plenty of movement. You can barely clear the wings in the back here. You can see it's just narrowly missing the wings. Also, they have a tendency to droop a little, and I think it's just down to the connective thing here, right in here, and then also the much stiffer ratchet for picking up the shoulder. Yeah, see, that has too much play in it. Sorry guys, I just woke up, my nose is stuffy. You also get the butterfly joint that's inherent for transformation, which does help because it does cinch that up nicely. Also, I'm still zoomed in. On the arm itself, you do get a bicep swivel above the elbow. You get the single jointed elbow that'll get you at least 90, but probably more if I had to guess. Nope, just 90. Okay, sorry for guessing. And then you also get the forearm rotation there. Sorry, it's time to do that at full extension. I'll move the camera just a little bit here. And then you come down to the hand, which is very similar to the hands from Toy World and Zeta, as you do. But they do have this cool red, blue, yellow pattern here. You do get a swivel back here just to rotate. You do get the forward and back thing, although even though they have a curved edge here, it does hit on the part of the hand that goes into the wrist. So that sucks. Big old slot there for holding the gun. You got a base pin, or a base pinned knuckle here, and then two other knuckles in the thumb alone. Sorry, technically I'm outside of the light here. Let me push that back, get a little more. All right, and then all 4 knuckles have a single pin going across there. And then each one has a swivel side to side, like so. First knuckle, second knuckle, closed fist. Yeah, same thing, same Toy World / Zeta design as always. And it works. Still works, although it does still have some clearance issues because the tab, the retaining tab thing here, keeps hitting the other part of the wrist. So just be careful. Just be aware of what you're doing with your hand and you'll be okay, I think. Okay, so that's that. Let's bring over here. Now he does have waist articulation. Just can rotate here at the hips. Definitely not going to be any kind of ab crunch that I can tell. I don't believe anything up there is meant to move that well. I did have an issue off camera because I stopped to take pictures, that I screwed up these front hips. The areas up underneath that are the chest vents for this guy, if you have them in what I call the closed position, you will not be able to move your hip skirts and you will knock stuff apart like I did. So I reached under, got them out of the way, and now I have movable hip skirts. So that's a good thing to have. There's a hard part about these big ass robots, and being able to reach everything and be behind the camera, technically. If I have a city bot, I'm usually on a bigger table. Alright, so for the legs, same as the original robot legs. Big old chunky hip joints, and then big chunky knee joints, and then a big chunky foot joint down below. So I mean, like, now he's got a straight leg and a really bent knee, and it still works, still pretty well planted. Now I did knock his foot gun off over here, so that's got to be one thing you got to pay attention to, is that you don't knock off the foot guns like so. And speaking of guns, you could technically mount all of his small guns on him. Okay, one more click, there we go. Unbend the knee. All right, so what's going on here? Should be straight, and it's not. Okay, I think that did it. Okay, let me straighten out his arm. You guys probably can't even see what all I'm doing. I'm just trying to get him straight up and down, essentially. Alright, I think that's it there. Whew. Oh, big boy. Okay, so, of course, the next thing everybody wants to see, the rifle. Go ahead and pull the first handle out, bring out the back handle, do with that as you will. And even though he's pointing with this finger, we gotta make up the difference here. And we have the slot for the gun, which in theory is good. Can't see. It's like there's a gun in the way, I can't actually see. Oh yeah, that's a nice snug fit. And then we wrap the fingers around it. First finger over the trigger, like nice and easy. And we can even, utilizing some extra joints here, get it to come across the body, and even utilize some wrist action here. Looks pretty good. And yeah, I've seen people where you can bring out the other hand and kind of hold the barrel if you're so keen on it. So he does have some good articulation. A little bit wobbly, not gonna lie, it's a little bit wobbly. And I think if you have both hands out front it's probably going to get wobblier, if I'm honest. The main thing I'm concerned about is, one, there's a lot of space in this ratchet here. Because look, he starts doing the splits. And he is very much leaning forward. Now you can generally counteract leaning forward with some with a little bit of lean action here. I don't think so. The one thing I didn't really cover, so we'll come down to feet. The feet don't exactly have a back and forth motion. They're pivoting essentially on what is the robot mode's torso with a double ratcheted joint, and the side to side is okay, but he doesn't have any toe point. Like they locked the knees in place, and there's just a lot of play in the middle of that bot now. And actually, part of me fears that if you were to leave him in combined mode for a decent amount of time, you'd actually end up stressing that center pivot quite a bit. Like, as it goes, he's a fairly solid combiner for not using really actual parts forming. And I say actual parts forming because they utilize, you know, where in a normal like 5-bot combiner like we have with Superion, you know, you're gonna have to make up the legs, you're gonna have to make up the chest and stuff like that a little bit to maintain the robot mode sizes. In this, they give you virtually an all-in-one combiner, minus this chest piece and those wings, but they give you something to do with those. And of course, the big guns that stick off of him as well. And it works. It's still pretty stable. You do got to really get his feet up under him. The arms kind of hold their own. There's a little bit of droopiness, and it is due to just the tightness here. Like there's not a lot of things holding up the actual joint in the shoulder, and I wish there was, because that would make a huge difference. Like, it's a fairly open gap here, and you do not go up and down, so you got to be real careful. Like, if you're going to be manipulating this shoulder out at this joint, you got to make sure you're holding on to everything here. I could see if something starts to slip or something gets a little too tight, that joint snapping in half, because those are the kind of joints that do tend to break on combiners or larger robots, like say the IDW Grimlock. You know, that one definitely has some issues with super tight joints. These seem to be worked out fairly nicely, or at least greased very, very nicely. But overall, he's pretty cool. I don't know why he's got his pinky out down here. Seems like the fingers might have some minor issues here, but he's still good. And like I said, some people do utilize the guns. They just kind of put them everywhere, you know, on these side tabs. Or you do have some of the weapon storage still available, like say under the trains, or plug them in the back or something like that. I think if you're going to go for combined mode, you're basically tossing all the weapons aside. So, you know, there's that. Now comes a moment where I see if I can even get one of the other combiners over here, or if I should just take it over there. It's kind of a hard thing to figure out here. Okay, so I at least got Superion over here, and he is very uncomfortable to move. Call it a difference between just the vehicles. Trains, very solid. The worst you're going to be dealing with over here is a few flaps, stuff like that. But everything is holding together. That dude, every single panel wants to pop. Every single small thing wants to flip or pop out or come apart. This one, if you go back and watch the reviews, there were QC problems, there were fitment problems. You know, I had to completely rework a section. There's probably stuff I had to glue. And even with not being an all-in-one, it was still a pretty difficult thing to go. And it does not feel as solid as even the Toy World Devastator, which I can't pull out, unfortunately. It is just sort of in place. But this dude feels really solid. Now, the main difference, I would say, is for stability, he doesn't have any of the foot pads. Like the rubberized foot pads, like on the soles of the feet, as it were. But because these are trains, not actual made feet, it's going to be a little hard because your contact patch actually isn't the whole bottom of the foot. It's actually only the edges of the bottom of the train here. So I would say that if you're going to keep him in combined mode, get a couple rubber pads for him to stand on. Keep those feet from sliding out from under him for the most part. Because the gaps in the hip joints are so wide. There's so much variation there. So that kind of sucks. Now, as it goes, I'm not going to bother getting pulling Superior out of here. Like I said, it's a pretty solid combiner. Height-wise, he's right on point with everything in this particular scale. Now, some people will say that the robots themselves are too big for what they are. If you go all the way back to the original cartoon, there's a lot of variation in their size. Sometimes they look at the same height as Ultra Magnus, and sometimes they look at the same height as Hot Rod. Like, not even Rodimus, but Hot Rod, like a smaller guy, you know? Hell, they show the Headmasters as being taller than the train bots, which makes no sense, except for the fact that it is a quote-unquote Headmaster show. I will say here, I don't think I need this door open. I don't know. Maybe. So, either way, of course, final thoughts on it. Fitment issues, generally speaking, especially within the torso here, torso and legs. All of the quality control problems with the SHOKY bot. You know, once again, of course, it's my namesake that has all the issues. And then after that, it just comes down to whether or not they should have done an all-in-one or done some parts forming. Because they probably could have integrated the shoulder joint, like here. Like the elbows and stuff, that fine. It totally makes sense. Even down here with the knees, that all makes sense. I think where they're losing it is the torso articulation and the shoulders. I think that's just one little spot where they could have used some extra parts forming just to make the connections and make it a slightly more solid thing, whereas this feels like it's going to degrade over time and the shoulders are going to droop over time. So like it's at a slight upward angle just by using one click, but in fact it's dragging down the joint just by sheer weight. All of them have die cast in them, and is how that die cast is utilized is probably what's causing the issue in the first place. So I think the actual joint here is got some die cast in it. Their legs generally have die cast in them, which is all up here as well, which is fine and dandy when it's an individual robot, but when you put it into a combined mode, you got to think about that and where that weight sits. So it is what it is. They are painted beautifully for the most part, and you know, there's some issues here and there. The plastics, generally speaking, feel good when they do fit right. Like I said, once again, the crotchbot is the worst in that aspect for now. And I do worry about some of the longevity, because in some cases, like this dude down here, you have a lot of translucent that is connected to moving parts, where that's going to happen. Stuff like that, you know. And like a lot of the canopies are actually translucent, and then they're on a swivel hinge or something like that. You just got to be careful when making all those things happen. And for taking it apart, like say I got to get that thing apart, I'm worried about what may or may not break just trying to get it apart. Or because of the location, the chest of the moonshine is now rubbing seemingly on the torso as it's combined, so that might have destroyed either some paint or sticker, just depending on how that went. So it is what it is. And I also have seen people putting on the wings wrong. They're actually meant to go in this orientation. Yes, they can move, and you do have the swivel to get them to go, but they're meant to be in that orientation with the kind of gun bits pointed off to the side. But guys, this has been a really long series, and this video in itself has been pretty long. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, they don't have a big Autobot logo. Like, those guys definitely do. These don't, which is weird. Like, you'd think it would go like right here. No, it's just Raiden in and of itself has no big Autobot logo, which I find really strange considering it is like the upfront main combiner team of that series. Which, by the way, guys, if you weren't aware, the Moon Studios logo, the little moon with the thing, That's actually the Headmasters series logo, but that's it. All right, I will catch you guys on the next one. This has taken me literal days to film, so I got to get to editing and get it pumped out as soon as possible. And make sure you're subscribing to the other channels where I have all the action figure stuff going on the Shoky reviews too. I'll have the Ronin Warriors reviews. Now that these are out of the way, I'm going to have new gargoyles from NECA and the newer Ronin Warriors figures. Also, I have other NECA figures down here from Ninja Turtles I have yet to review as well. And I did just order some stuff that should be coming in pretty soon that I know you guys will like. But I'll see you then. Remember, as always, to combine and roll out. Sort of. Yatai.